And I am JJWalsh, and today we are talking all about EVs, electric cars in Japan. And I have two fellow EV enthusiasts with me, Kevin Meyerson and Scott. Thanks so much for joining, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. This is great.
So, Kevin and Scott, you have both been on this talk show before. Now, Scott and I both have Model 3 Teslas about the same time. We are now going on to our third year, I believe.
Yep.
Kevin, you have a Jaguar I-Pace. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. I have a Jaguar I-Pace, and it's a blast.
Yeah. So we will be talking about our cars, our experience, and the general state of the EV in Japan and answering lots of questions that people usually ask when they're thinking about buying or maybe thinking about what their next car should be. I think 2022 is going to be a big year for the EV. What do you guys think?
Totally, I agree. I think the Japan, it's going to be very big for the world, but for Japan, it really depends on how quickly Nissan gets its Aria out the door.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. The Aria is going to be the key
Really?
thing
You guys
domestically
really
for it.
looking at the Aria? Because I just looked at news about the Aria and it really seems expensive,
Yes,
right?
it's going to be way too expensive. They should have went with a lower price, lower target market, but it's a great looking car. Some of the walkarounds that I've seen for it look really good.
Have you actually gone? I went to the Nissan showroom in the Ginza and got a tour of it,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's a really beautiful car,
Yeah.
and it's four-wheel drive, and it's got a really good sized battery. And so for me, if it was available, I might not have gotten the Jaguar,
Hmm.
because my condition was
Wow.
getting a four-wheel drive vehicle, and I looked at the Jaguar, was like the last choice because it came through because they had a dealer test vehicle that I got for a discount.
Nice.
So
Oh,
All
nice.
right. Well,
yeah,
we'll talk about the Jaguar in a minute, but you guys started with Nissan. So let's
yeah.
it's good to mention that Nissan was one of the first like to
Mhm.
really launch with an all electric, right?
Yep.
So they launched the Leaf in 2010. I did my research today. They have sold 500,000 of the Leaf globally and only 150,000 in Japan. But
Mm.
the Leaf is usually the EV that I would see around Japan. How about you guys?
I see them all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. I live near a parking lot. When I go through the parking lot, there's always one, not always, but like one or two leaves around on a pretty regular basis. I've met the guy in Japanese YouTuber Take TV in he's in Kobe, but I met him in South Osaka, and he picked up a Honda E, and he
Uh-huh.
really likes it.
Oh, wait, you're
Um,
switching companies. Let's stick with the Leaf for
okay,
a
yeah.
few more
So the
minutes.
Leaf.
Okay, wait.
Yep. Gotcha.
So
Sorry.
I,
the Leaf, let's just talk about price and range for
Yeah.
each of these cars. So the Leaf is about 3.3 million, so it's cheaper than the other EVs, but it's 364-kilometer range, which is a little bit less than usual. And that's actually why when I was looking for an electric car, that's why I didn't choose the Leaf. I thought the range was a little bit limited for what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I would have bought a Leaf, frankly. The only problem I had was it wasn't four-wheel drive. And if there was a four-wheel drive Leaf with the range that you just mentioned, or even worse, I would have gotten it. I mean, ideally, I wanted a
Wow.
400 kilometer range, but the Leaf, the price was great, and it's already a car with a long track record. The infrastructure's there. It's good, and you can take it to a Nissan dealer, which is everywhere. So
Everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
And that
really
having
nice
that
thing for it.
infrastructure is really, really tempting, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the Aria is 5.3 million by the latest specs and 370 kilometers range. So you like the SUV style though, right, Kevin?
Well, I mean, I ski a lot, and I go into the mountains in Nagano, and I have to have a four-wheel drive car. And so that was the condition that I had. So my first choice was a four-wheel drive Leaf, which didn't exist, and the Aria was supposed to be coming out 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine at Nissan was saying, just wait, you'll get it, and it just didn't come out, and it kept getting
It's
delayed.
not out yet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming
Yeah.
out maybe this year, right?
Maybe
Yeah.
this summer. Yeah.
And then I would have loved to get the Tesla Model S and Model X were just too big for Japan for me,
Yeah.
for where I go. And then the Model 3 and the Model Y. The Model Y wasn't being delivered yet, and the Model 3 they weren't going to be able to ship for another year when I went to get it. So that was like the choices. I basically gave up. And then all of a sudden, I found my friend at the dealer in Nagano had a Jaguar I-Pace where it was a brand new, but it had 6,000 kilometers on it because it was a demo, the dealer car, and so they gave me a full new car warranty, and they gave me a significant discount, so I got that, and I test drove it. It was awesome. But I would have probably preferred something
I'm
else.
interested, Kevin, in how your charger is in the front right next to the driver. Is that right?
Yeah,
like-
yeah. There's the one that you're looking at right now is on the right side is the what is it? How do you say that? J1770, whatever the AC charger. And on the left side, there's the same port, but it's a DC CHAdeMO connection.
Wow. So for us, Scott, it's at the back left, right?
Yep.
But you guys have a single port, which is a Tesla connector, right?
Yep.
And you put an adapter on it, and you can connect it to either AC or DC, and do whatever, right? And it's wonderful about Tesla. But for the Nissan Leaf or the Jaguar or any of the other cars, the Mercedes Benzes or the Audis, they all use the CHAdeMO connector, which is only a DC connector. And then you have this other connector, which is called I think it's like J1770. It's the same as in the U.S. In Japan, and you connect that for AC charging, regular chargers.
Wow. It's kind of nice to have both, right? We have our first comment from ZV on YouTube. Thanks for joining, Zed. He says Japan really needs affordable K car size EVs. Now, this was in the news in one of the articles that I saw talking about the subsidies going up in Japan.
Yes.
Up to 800,000 of subsidy is going to go up this year. And they're going to give subsidy for EV K car size EVs as well. So Zed, you might be in luck.
Well, actually, I think the Mitsubishi, Nissan, and they're supposed to be coming out with a K-sized EV over the next year or so. I don't know. I didn't get the specific date, but they announced it a couple of years ago, and it's a very interesting form factor. It's a regular like K-style car. Unfortunately, it wasn't four-wheel drive for me, but it was still really cool. And then also, Mitsubishi had a K truck EV for years, and I think they stopped making it, but they said they're going to start remaking them.
Oh,
and
that's
also
good.
And a K1 box, which is based on the same platform. But I think they need to change the architecture for it. But it looks like they're getting more aggressive now. Nissan and Renault and Mitsubishi announced their group, partnership plans just recently to go more aggressively into the EV market.
Nissan says it's sharing 70% of its EV tech and components with Renault and Mitsubishi because that's part of their alliance group. Now, you mentioned a little K car, and I wanted to just show the opposite. Anybody thinking about a Cybertruck?
Not anytime soon.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine on Japanese roads?
No, but actually, I think there's a couple of things we should probably talk about. Is in Europe there are K-sized cars. The Renault.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
The Renault. What's the name of it? Martin Lee from EV News Daily. He drives it. It's like it's a small little city car. And it's great. And they actually had a very interesting way to buy it. You could lease the battery. Basically, you bought the car, but the battery was leased to you, and it was a very affordable car. And it's still going strong. And it's actually I think sells more than Leafs in Europe, or it did until very recently.
Well, the one thing that I'm hoping for is the March. It's the March here, right? From by Nissan.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming to end of life, and so the rumor is that they might be putting an EV in that spot. So basically retooling it and reworking it. And that'd be a great car.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first test drove the Tesla, my image of what an electric car is, I think, is a lot of what people think of electric cars. I was imagining driving a golf cart, right? And when I got behind the Model S, and it was so powerful and so fun to drive, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. But then if you're going back to the K car type for electric, it makes a lot of sense because most people don't actually need to drive that far. Most people just commute around their neighborhood. And those type of cars, I think, would be perfect for shared economy, where everybody just kind of books in a time and uses the same cars. We don't all actually need our own cars all the time, right? Especially if you're living in an apartment building.
Yeah, especially. I mean, I think that's. I'm living in a condo right now this winter, and I don't have charger here at the parking lot, and so I use a public chargers, like the Nissan dealership, or at the Michino Eki, the farmers marketplace down the street. And I have to go there all the time, and it would be so. In where I live at my house, I have a charger there, and this is something I heard, Scott, that you don't have a charger at your house, or
no, I the first year I had the car, I didn't use the house as the charging. I just used the superchargers and the local one down at the similar thing to the farmers market, but at City Hall.
Yeah.
But now I'm using the mobile charger at home.
Yeah, at home I have solar panels on my roof. I think you do too, JJ, and Scott. If you can do that, that would be great.
Yeah, I really want to, but I have a feeling that the roof on this house would need to be completely rebuilt, which would cost more than the house. So I think a new house
it's a great investment. I'm hoping that's something they'll bring out this year as well, because they're racing towards the 2030, 2050 targets. I'm hoping they'll bring the solar subsidy back so people feel incentivized to make that investment, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're still incentivized. A lot of people say, "Oh, okay, the prices went down," but the prices of solar panels also went down.
Yeah. What I would like to know, if somebody in the audience, any place, if you know of a place in Japan to get used solar panels, please put it in the chat someplace so I can take a look at it later on.
That is a really good point, right?
In the U.S., I can find some places, but I haven't been able to find anything in Japan. Maybe just my language.
Because they have a long life. Like they say, technically 10 years is the warranty, right?
No.
But my family's been using it in Hawaii for more than 30 years.
Yeah,
right?
JJ, that's not true. The warranty now is it went up to 15 years some years ago, and now I think most panels are warranted over 20 years and some 25 to 30 years, and a lot of panel experts are saying that the actual lifespan may be longer than 60 to 100 years.
Yeah.
And so 10 years is 20 years ago or 25 years ago the warranty was 10 years, but it's no longer there. It's now.
So I would like to find some of those panels.
Yeah, Scott, good question. And I just had a visit recently from Kyocera because we hit our almost 12 years since we bought the panels.
Oh, wow.
And I asked him, can I get some more panels put up? Because, just thinking about it, can I add to my array? Because we're using a lot of energy during the day when we're making energy. But our local grid now pays us nothing because we have passed the 10-year where they were promised to pay us more, right? And he said they do have older versions of panels in Japan at these companies like Kyocera. So I'll let you know what the prices are. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just noticing that there's somebody commenting with misinformation about small-scale solar being difficult in Japan. This is not true. You can get it for your house, no problem at all. And there's no issue with safety at all.
Yeah. Good. It's really important to keep checking your information and keep asking around.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Now, you guys, we were talking about charging. I bought a charger from Tesla, which is at my home, and so if I'm charging in the day, I know it's coming from my solar panel, so it feels nice. But it was only 20,000 to buy that home charger and get it installed. It was really reasonable. I was very impressed. I also came across an article that Nomura Real Estate is going to start making their apartment blocks where every space in the apartment has an EV charger available.
Oh,
so a lot of these realtors and like condo makers are thinking EVs are the future. We got to start preparing. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, definitely. There's a number of companies that will actually re-outfit apartments and condos and public housing or any kind of group housing like that. And they come in and the systems are quite cool. Basically, they'll just put like a 200 volt plug, or some of them have a full 6 kilowatt box, kind of like your Tesla home charger, and it'll have a cable. And what they'll do is they'll put in like a QR code reader, and you just go up, you pay like a monthly fee and up to a certain number of kilowatt hours, and you just go up and read the barcode, and for your phone sends a signal through the internet, and there's an Internet of Things box in the switching box in the breaker box, which turns on your plug basically real time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so basically people who are apartment owners, they don't have to pay the electricity bill. They could, or they can just have the users, the people who live there, pay for everything. So it's a really terrific system.
That sounds awesome. Great.
Yeah.
So should we talk about another brand, which I have seen around, and I'm kind of excited to see, the BMW. Have you guys seen the i3? It's so cute.
I haven't seen it.
Actually, I heard that the i3, they just went off. They stopped manufacturing, or they're going to stop, and they're replacing it. BMW's got a bunch of EVs coming out now, and
it looks like they have 5 on the website.
Yeah, that's an amazing car. Basically, it's using like carbon fiber, all kinds of high tech stuff, and people who drive it just say it's even though it looks kind of geeky, it's a real high performance car, in terms of the driving experience.
I'd like to get one.
I mean, I'd like to get in one at least.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The doors open. I saw a guy who was charging his, and I actually asked, "Can I have a little ride?" It's such a weird, but he saw my Tesla, so it wasn't that weird. Maybe we were like EV buddies, maybe. And now, Scott, you mentioned the Honda E. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a nice little city car. It's kind of based similar to the Fit. The range for the price, I think, is a little low. I don't remember what the exact numbers were off the top of my head, but I want to say it's around 5.5 million for the purchase, and the range is I can't remember what the range is, but I know it's nowhere near the Model 3. And so I was but for the same price, you could have got a longer range.
Yeah. I researched it. The Honda E is 4.5 million at the moment and 308 kilometer range.
Oh, that's all right.
It's not too bad. But if you have that 800,000 subsidy, that helps.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to say just something about range. That you guys, I think we have a lot of experience, but a lot of people, when they first come in, if you're getting a car, think about how much you actually drive.
Yeah.
I've got a friend in Karuizawa, and he's like, I need a car that goes at least 1,000 kilometers, and he actually goes and drives 1,000 kilometers regularly because he loves driving, and he loves driving, and he drove. He wrote a book about it too. He drove from Japan. He took a ferry across, and he drove all the way across Asia to the UK.
Nice.
And so it's like, yeah, dude, go get a gasoline car or whatever, because you're not going to be doing an EV. But most people, they drive, maybe 20 kilometers a day, or 30 or 40 at the most. And if you have a house and you can put a 200-volt plug in your parking lot, which doesn't cost very much money at all, you never have to go to the gasoline station, and it costs less than gasoline to charge off your home network. And people ask me, like, how long does it take you to charge your car? And they're like expecting me to say, it's going to take like 20 hours off a 3 kilowatt, 200-volt plug. And I'm like, no, it takes me about 15 seconds.
Right.
And they're like, what do you mean? And then I'm like, I park my car, I plug it in, and I forget about it. And what do you do when you put it in the parking lot? I park my car, and you don't plug it in. So the difference between parking your car and parking it and plugging it in is 15 seconds. And that's how long when I come back out, my car's fully charged.
That's one of the things that I definitely wanted to bring up today, because I got the long range partially because I wanted the dual motor thing, and also that was what they had in stock, so that's what I got. But after driving it for 2.5 years, what I found is I don't do a lot of long distance driving, and if I was going like actual distances, then that range would be much more important. But I'm really city driving sometimes less than 30 kilometers a day, and so I don't need the range that the car has. I'm glad it's there, but I don't need it.
And
I've actually taken some long
that people said they were worried about is using the air conditioner or using the heater would bring down the charge really fast. I heard a story, a friend using a Leaf. They were stuck in traffic. It was the middle of the summer. They were pumping the aircon, and they were really worried about running out of charge. Now, I ran the AC all night in summer. I slept in the car, and it didn't move hardly at all. So I think the efficiency certainly has gotten better for that kind of stuff, don't you think?
Yeah, actually, my car and your cars are all heat pump based.
Ours aren't. The new ones are. Yeah, JJ and I got it before they changed it into the heat pump, but the heat pump would make a huge difference.
Yeah, my car has a heat pump.
Better or worse?
Better. Much better.
Better.
Yeah, because heat pumps are extremely efficient, and so like there's a great Japanese EV information website called EV.
EV Go.
No, it's there's a blog.
That's favorite, right?
Smart. Yeah, I love that too, but it's like smart.
Smart EV.
Yeah, Smart EV, and they have a blog, and their authors are great.
Yes. But
they did a really good test for and they introduced it. It was an article from the U.S. actually, and they did a full translation on it. I forgot the website it was on, but they did a test, and it was like you could be stuck in a winter storm and running your heat on the an electric car, and you have to do some preparation, just like a gasoline car. You should have blankets, but you could have like a USB blanket in your electric car and run it off a USB plug and run the car for like 50, 60 hours, without any problem at all, which is longer than a gasoline car is going to last.
Yep. That came up because of the winter storm situation on the East Coast in the States, and there were a bunch of cars that had been trapped on the highway, and everybody started the FUD about, what about EVs? What about EVs? Yeah, EVs are actually in better shape than a lot of the gas cars.
How about if your car gets covered in snow, Kevin?
Hey, why don't you, you have to take a look at, this was at 11:30 this morning.
Holy cow.
My car was parked in the Shigakogen parking lot for 2 days because there was a major winter storm, and I came out this morning to dig my car out, and this was what I got. That's
amazing. I was telling Kevin before we went live, Scott, I was telling him if he had the summon, like some of the Tesla cars have, wouldn't that be fun to have a big snowball moving towards you?
It would be great. I'm totally jealous of you guys with that. I mean, I would love to have summon on that.
I've never used that. Have you used it, Scott?
I tried. What it told me was I'd have the FSD, so it was always grayed out. So for mine.
What's FSD?
Full self-driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the extra money for the stuff.
You got to pay that to get the summon.
Well, that was my impression. JJ, have you tried it?
I did not.
Yeah.
I don't think I paid for the self-driver
Yeah, I'm pretty
function. So
sure. Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I
extra.
need it because my garage is so narrow that I'd like to get out of the car and just back the car in like a remote control
Well, don't they have
rather
like
than getting.
last year or the year before they were
Self-parking.
talking about like having portions of that being like on subscription or something?
Yeah, you can get full self-driving on subscription now, but they haven't. The community's always been like break pieces out so we can just get the pieces that we want. And Tesla's
Like
like,
just
I didn't hear anything.
yeah, they,
What did you say? Yeah.
yeah.
There's another brand that we haven't talked about yet, which I was really happy to see. Have you seen the Mazda MX-30?
No, I want to check it out.
And
Did they
this
actually?
Mazda is my local. This is our industry in Hiroshima. We have a big Mazda. It is a huge employer for all of Hiroshima. Lots of parts makers are connected. I don't know if it's actually going to be made in Hiroshima, but it's really exciting to see Mazda coming out with this.
Is it going to be domestic? Are they going to sell it here?
It's on the Japanese website,
Oh, it
so
is.
we'll
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Yeah, they were saying that they were going to do it, and then they decided to go hybrid a couple years ago, and so I think they're finally coming out with it now. But I haven't heard
You
much
know
about
why
it
that
yet.
happened?
Mm.
You know why that happened?
Toyota.
Toyota owns 5% of Mazda. And
Ah.
so my Honda dealer was telling me this as well. Until middle of last year, Toyota really wasn't that excited about EVs. End of last year, Toyota said, we're going to make 30 EVs by 2030. Huge turnaround. Amazing. So now Honda, Mazda, all the companies are like, yes, let's go, right? So this Mazda EV, just for specs, anyone interested in pricing,
Yeah.
4.5 million and a range up to 280. So not a lot of range, but a nice SUV style, right?
Yeah, Mazda has like some of the best car designers right now. I don't know who does their car design, but they've the past few years, their cars are so nice looking.
Yeah.
I always look at them and I go, God, is that another Jaguar? Oh no, it's a Mazda.
Right.
Drive by. They've got really nice lines.
Yeah.
Now, one of the questions we always get, right, Scott, is about charging and charging infrastructure.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the Tesla infrastructure? It seems to be getting better now.
Sure. Yeah, we got 4 in the area now. So since you were up here last time, you went to the Toyonaka one. There's the first one that was in the main part of Osaka, but now there's one down by the zoo in Tennoji, and that one's really nice because it is there's 5 stalls just outside of a family mart. It's
What are we
perfect.
looking at? There's like the red ones are superchargers.
Yeah, this is the supercharger network. The red ones are online. The gray ones are scheduled. The gray ones are destination chargers.
Destination. So, Scott, the destination charger is basically like low voltage. It takes longer, like the home chargers, right?
Yeah, basically, it's like most of them are like your home charger. The supercharger up at in Kyoto next to the station there is I only ever got 30 kilowatts out of it. So it's technically a supercharger because it's faster than, 6 kilowatts is like the break off. But there are a lot of places like Adventure World down in Wakayama, where the zoo where they have the pandas. They have a Tesla charger, but it's not a supercharger. It's just it's about a 5 or 6 kilowatt charger. So it takes a little bit of a time to get the charge up. But if you're going to be walking around the zoo all day, you don't really need to have instant refill.
Hey,
I'm
Scott,
glad to see they've got in Kyushu, one in Fukuoka, one in Kyushu now.
Yep.
There's only one in Sapporo. We need more around Hokkaido so we can do driving trips, right?
Sapporo just opened.
But can't you guys use CHAdeMO chargers? I mean,
Yes. Now that was one of the piece of news that I had just heard when I was going through the Tesla owners club thing online. Evidently, they've stopped including the CHAdeMO adapters with new car purchases, so it's got to be a separate purchase now. The conjecture is that it's mostly due to chip supply
I
change.
see.
So, but yeah, so we can use like all of the Elephant Network stuff, the Aeon system. Most of the Aeon malls have a charger somewhere.
Yeah.
And
I've tried out the Eon malls. It was a bit of hit and miss,
Mm.
trial and error, because I couldn't see the screens. The
Yeah.
screens were in the sun, so the Japanese was really complicated. Plus, I couldn't see the
Yes.
screen because of the glare. But it is nice how you can pay as you go with the
Yes.
Eon mall system. So a lot of the CHAdeMO system, you have to do like a monthly service. I couldn't figure it out how to get your monthly card.
It's
Have you
pretty
done it,
easy.
Kevin?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So basically, if you have the CHAdeMO is your standard charger for your car, which is everything except Tesla.
Mhm.
So Nissan, Honda, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, BMW, everyone has CHAdeMO. Tesla is the only one that doesn't. And so when you buy your car, all of the car manufacturers give you this card. And you, like, for example, Jaguar, I got the first year there was no monthly charge. I just paid for whatever I used. And then from the second year, I guess it is now, that I'm getting a 3,000 yen per month charge for holding the card. And on top of that, I get to use the charger network. But the charger network, the merit of having that is the price per minute. It's charged by minute, is much cheaper than if you walk up. So for 30 minutes on a fast charger, I pay 450 yen.
Total?
And if you,
Wow, that's great.
yeah,
That's really good.
so if it's a 50-watt charger, or if it's a 20 or a 50 kilowatt charger, or a 20 kilowatt charger, I only pay 15 yen per minute. So 30 minutes times 15 yen is
Okay.
450 yen. And so if it's a 50 kilowatt charger, I pay 450 yen for half an hour at 50 kilowatt charging. Normally, but it may, you got
I
a
am
charging curve.
really looking
But
for, sometimes you'll see chargers at convenience stores now. So
yeah,
I'm really looking forward to when you can just go inside the convenience store, pay your money, just like a gas station, pay your
Yeah.
money and get your charge done. Like
yeah,
why do we need to complicate it with cards and everything?
but I think JJ, I've heard you discuss this before, and I think that the only reason you're confused about it is because you only use Tesla, and for
Well,
everyone else,
I have
I,
used CHAdeMO.
I know,
It
but
was a real
you don't
struggle.
do you have a CHAdeMO card?
Well,
No, I
the
used it
problem
at
is,
Eon Mall.
yeah,
Eon Mall's card.
But
because the
I
problem with
I
that
walk up,
system
and
is,
it takes me 3 seconds to get started, and it's just like you get
I
used to
need to
it.
go with you, Kevin, the
Yeah,
first
I would love
time,
to.
and then I'll
Yeah,
know how to do it after that.
well, the problem, the hurdle that I've seen with that system, and that's the one that has the elephants. The pink elephant is
yeah.
fast, and the
The
green elephant is
charge
slow.
Sudozo. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And the main issue that I've seen is the initial fee to be able to apply to be in the club, and then I think 3,000 a month is expensive.
It's
Just to
expensive
hold
if
the
you.
card.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but the other option you have to use almost the same network is the Echo Qden,
Yeah.
which is a zero yen per month.
Yep.
But
That
you have
one
to
I have.
pay. But you have to pay 1,500 yen if you're going to use charging, right?
Some
Can I
places, but
can I
there's other
just say
places that are
something
free.
about the charging
Yeah.
network
Yep.
in Japan? So apparently, like I was saying before when we talked, Scott, that Japan has more charger network than gas stations, which is what I've heard.
Yes.
Apparently, they closed down a bunch of them, but now Japan has about 30,000 chargers. But the new target is by 2030, 150,000 chargers.
Wow.
That would be
That's
great.
big
You know,
news, right?
one thing that we should probably discuss. We mentioned destination chargers versus rapid chargers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't get destination chargers. I talk to them all the time, and it looks like I'm frozen here. Am I
You're
moving?
fine.
Can you
You're
hear me?
fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. So destination chargers are exactly what they are. You go to a destination. So like, say you go to a hotel or you go to a shopping mall and you're going to spend the night at the hotel, or you're going to spend several hours at the shopping mall or at the golf place or at the ski resort parking lot. So that's a destination you go to. And because you're going to be there for a long time, you don't need a rapid charger. You can charge slower, and your car, like overnight, you'll be full the next morning, like at the hotel. So these destination chargers, they're so slow, but you don't need them. You don't need it. And it's very easy. And that's why you have your house, and you always have a full car at the next morning. The rapid chargers are the ones that we're talking about, where they're over 20 kilowatts of speed. So they're 50 kilowatts. Some of them are 90 kilowatts now, or there's 100 kilowatt ones now in Japan. In Europe and in the United States, they're like 350 kilowatts.
Yep.
Japan's really behind the curve on this. But that's a much faster charger, but you only use it for 30 minutes. So those are the ones that are at the service areas on the freeway. And people say, oh, I don't want to park for 30 minutes. It's like, you know what?
I defy anybody to get in and out of a rest stop in 30 minutes, no matter what you're doing.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's even in and out of a gas station, it's not that much less, is it?
No.
It's funny.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you go to the bathroom, you go check out the omiyages, all the gifts in the gift shop, check out the local delicacies they have.
Use
Buy a
the
coffee.
restroom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh my God, I got to get to the charger. I only got 1 minute left. And you wish you had like
That's exactly it. That's exactly what I've experienced. Every time I've gone to a charger, I'm like, 45 minutes. And then I'm like 44 minutes later, my watch says, hey, your supercharging thing's about to end. You need to hurry up and get back to your car. I'm like, crap.
You can use the superchargers for 45 minutes. I didn't know that.
Like an hour sometimes. It depends on how many people are using it at the same time. But this has happened to me a couple times. I've been waiting at a supercharger only to realize after an hour that these people are not coming back, that they're just using it for parking. That's only happened in Kyoto. Luckily did not happen anywhere else, but that is really annoying.
Yes.
So if we have 150,000 chargers, we have much less chance of that happening.
Yep.
Have you had that happen, Scott?
I haven't. I mean, I've been at the charger in Osaka, and there have been cars that weren't plugged in sitting in their spots, but fortunately I was still able to charge because there were other available spaces. But it's I kind of wanted to leave a note and be like, hey, you know better than this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing.
Practice good etiquette. Has that ever happened to you, Kevin? Were you waiting for a charger?
The only time it happened was one time. It was at an Eon mall, by the way, and there was a bunch of rapid chargers there, and this family had parked a Honda E, by the way, in the rapid charger, and they just left it there, and they're like, oh, I thought we could park here for 2 hours.
No,
it's like, no, you park it when your car's full. You get out of the way, and I had like my car. I wanted to get charged because I was expecting to charge there, and there was like no chargers open, and they were full. But that was the only time. Otherwise, there's an app that the freeway, the expressway system has, where you can go and say like, oh, the service area down 10 kilometers down the run is open right now, or I can tell it'll open up in 10 minutes and I'll be there. So I'll just have to wait like 1 minute.
Yep.
But 90% of the time, there's just nobody there. I mean, they're always open.
Yep.
I've just not even 90% more. It's like 99% of the time. I've very rarely bumped into places where people are using the charger and I have to wait for them.
Yeah, the only one that I've ever had to wait for is the free one at City Hall. Worth the wait.
Yeah. Oh, I did have to wait. It was at Yoyogi Park in Tokyo.
Mm.
I went to Tokyo last year briefly, and then and also I waited 5 minutes at the Shinjuku City Hall. They had a 90 kilowatt system that they put in, and I
Oh
wanted to go
wow.
check it out. So I just
Oh,
went down there to try it out.
that's the
It's
one with
free.
the rebrand, right? The e-mobility power.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everything's like the Charge Suitors, though they all got rebranded. I think
Hmm.
the whole. I don't know what's going
They're
on with that.
supposed to the charge the Zol
Char,
yeah, that one.
Charge Suitors. Yeah, the
Yeah,
elephants.
yeah, the elephant one is being moved over to e-mobility power. It's taking them forever to do it because I first saw them, oh, we're changing the name and we're redoing the system. It was like 5 years ago. And I'm like, oh, cool, that'll be all ready by the time I get my car. And then they're still in the process of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
By the
the
way,
other place
oh,
to
sorry.
the other place to check out for those of you who are watching and want to have a places to charge question is the Times parking lot. A lot of them, not all of them, but many of them have a charging system included. So you go in and you park, and there is it's a destination charger, so it's fairly slow, but
Hmm.
you can charge and park at the same time, and there's no extra charge for the charge.
That is a
Yeah,
good tip.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
good.
Another place that typically has it is Nitori. If you go to the home center,
Oh,
like the
right.
furniture shop, Nitori, they have like 3 kilowatt chargers.
Wow.
They do charge for them, but they're very reasonable. And another place is if you
Another,
come to Miyoko,
uh-huh.
Miyoko at it's called Alpenblick Snow Resort, and
Yeah.
I consulted for them last year, and there's 3 free chargers. They're 200
Oh,
volt plugs. You have to bring your own 200 volt plug, but it's free. So you
nice.
can go
And
skiing and
and
charge all
also
day.
you can charge at JAF, Japan
Yeah.
Auto Federation, if you are a JAF member. I found that out last time. I haven't
Really?
tried it yet. Have you tried it, Scott, with
I'm
JAF?
not a member
No?
yet.
Oh, wow.
I,
That's
So you need an adapter if you have a Tesla, but you could charge directly if you're a member, Kevin.
I didn't know that. That's great. Where is that? Where at all the JAF offices?
all
If
the
you
Jeff
if you
offices.
look
Yep.
on the JAF
Wow.
website, yeah,
Yeah.
they have a charger pretty much at all their service centers. And then I asked them, is it worth me being a member as a EV owner? Because if I get stranded or out of charge, is there anything you can do? And they said, yeah, we'll come tow you to our nearest charging station or nearest Tesla charger. That's part of our service.
That's
So
great.
I
Nice.
thought that was really good. It's worth being a JAF member then. A little bit of
Actually,
peace of
actually,
mind.
one other thing you just reminded me is that even if you are a non-Tesla owner, you can get an adapter that goes from the I use it for my regular charger, and I use the Tesla destination charger on one side and my car on the other, and it's kind of like a USB C to A adapter,
Well,
you know,
yeah, the
but
CHAdeMO
it's big.
adapter that JJ and I have, it's like the opposite of that. So
Yeah,
ours
yeah.
will hook up to the CHAdeMO on one side and the car on the other. This one just kind of reverses the whole thing.
But you're
They're really
using it.
cool.
That's rapid, right? But I
Uh,
can't use mine I can only use mine with destination chargers.
yeah.
So up to like 6
It's
kilowatts.
yeah. It's I can't. The charger, the adapter that JJ and I have is rapid. It's up to 50, I believe.
Yeah, that's great.
And but the other one I think will do up to 10,
Yeah.
but I'm not positive. I'm not
Yeah,
positive.
up to the hardware itself will go up to 10. Mine
Right.
only goes up to 6 though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
great though.
It'll be
interesting.
interesting to see if Tesla will open the Japanese chargers. They're starting to open them in Europe, but those are the CCS chargers. It's the open standard version. So I don't know what they would do for Japan and the
Yeah.
US. It'll be interesting to see what they do there.
That's
I would love
interesting, isn't it?
I would love if Japan standardized
Oh,
a
please.
single. Yeah.
Yes, and
Could,
I know everybody kind of is like, yay, CHAdeMO, but I really don't like it.
yeah.
I
I
really
mean,
wish they would go with the CCS.
I
System.
don't care if they do CHAdeMO or CCS, but I just wish they would do the 350 kilowatt chargers
That's why.
like they have in
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I would
my main thing
also
against that first
I would
generation.
also love to see, which I've heard rumors about, especially Family Mart is supposed to be putting solar panels on their convenience stores around Japan. So
Yes.
wouldn't it
Wow.
be great if a lot of convenience stores which have chargers also are creating that energy with renewable clean energy? That'd be awesome.
That'd be
I want to
fantastic.
see.
Actually, my house it's a passive house, so it's very efficient, and it's probably for a different show. But because my house is so efficient, the solar rooftop I've got originally I had 4.2 kilowatts, and now I have it's like 9.7 kilowatts. I updated the roof panels and moved the old ones to my carport,
Nice.
and so because they paid for themselves in 5 years.
Wow. That's
And
great.
people are like, Japan solar, is it good? And it's like, yeah, it's amazing. There's so much insulation here, the solar exposure. So the net result is that by charging at home, my car, and I drive a lot when it's not, I charge at home all the time, except for the winter time. But when I'm charging at home, my all my electricity that I use and all of my energy that I use, including my car's energy, is more than made up by how much electricity I generate on my solar panels.
We will have to do another whole show on houses because I have a ton of questions. Do you have a battery system
No,
in your
not
house?
yet.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. Yeah, maybe next year or the year after.
I wanted to just touch on batteries, just to touch on it because Kyocera is also recommending their home battery storage now. So we want to do another episode and just talk about clean energy, rooftop solar,
That'd be great.
home
Yeah.
storage. Let's do another episode. That'd be awesome.
And insulation.
And
And
insulation.
insulation.
Yeah.
Especially when it's cold, you realize how important it is. But then when it's hot too.
I bought this condo, and I'm in here in Nagano, right down the slope from Shigakogen, and it's like -5 outside right now, but it's like it's a single glass window, and I'm like, what?
It's just like
So
the outside.
yeah, it's like I'm living with the outside right here inside. And so I've ordered to put in the Uchimado, like they put in a second set of windows inside.
Yep.
So they're finally going to get it done this month. So that'll make a huge difference.
Be much more comfortable.
Yeah,
That'll help. That'll help.
That's crazy.
I came across this interesting article by the Japan Times in January this year, and it was talking about how the new registrations of imported cars was rising up to 3.3% of all foreign car registrations was EVs, and they credited Tesla to creating this import trend. EVs are only 1% of Japan's market right now, it said, but that is growing year on year, and they really expect strong growth this year.
I'm seeing a lot of in Karuizawa. It's a very high end area, and I see a lot of Teslas, but I'm also seeing Audi e-trons.
Oh, nice.
And I'm also seeing Mercedes-Benz was the EQA.
All right, the EQA, EQS?
Or not the EQS yet, the EQA is the one that's available now. And even in Saku, like the city next door, my tax accountant that I used to at Kevin's bar, one at my bar, he bought the EQA for his wife. And I took a test drive in it. It's really nice.
Nice.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Do you know? Is VW bringing in the ID series?
I haven't seen it. I haven't heard the information. I haven't really checked. But also like one of the French companies, not Renault, but the other one, Peugeot, is supposed to be having an electric car here as well.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So I want to go back a little bit. Sorry to take over, because
go ahead.
Because JJ had mentioned Toyota's announcement of those 30 cars by someday. I don't believe them.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of crap about it online. I have no faith that Toyota. Well, okay, that's not true. Toyota is going to make those cars. I just don't think they're going to be here.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I agree.
You think they're going to make the cars, but the cars are not going to be available in Japan?
Yes.
You mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
They do say very clearly the market they're going to launch in is the U.S. market because that's
Yeah.
the biggest market, right?
Yeah. I think they're going to kick Japan down the road as long as they possibly can.
well, do you know what the reason? I mean, the reason for this is it's really clearly that Toyota has their Keiretsu, they have cross holdings in all of their group companies, and so many of their group companies have a huge investment in supporting gasoline internal combustion engines.
Yeah.
And there's like there people I always hear Japanese friends telling me, oh, Mr. Toyota is so concerned about the employment, and it's like, yeah, so is Volkswagen is so concerned about employment. They've got their employee union on the board.
Yes.
Toyota doesn't.
No.
Toyota doesn't. No. I mean, they're very concerned
Well,
about their share
let's give them
prices.
some credit because Toyota with the Prius, it was a game changer, right?
It
All
was,
over
Absolutely.
but
the
that
world.
that was 15, 20 years ago.
But let's talk back to that Japan Times article. They also saw a huge influx of hybrid imports. So imported hybrids in 2021 was 37,500, up from 13,000 in 2020. So I think this 2030 target from the government saying you are not going to be able to sell gas cars from 2030, that is, you have to sell a hybrid or an all electric. That really put the pressure on in a good way, right?
Well, Toyota's the problem with Toyota is they look at a hybrid. They're pushing the definition of electric car as a hybrid, and hybrids are better than straight up gas engines, absolutely, but they're way more complicated, and you lose a lot of the benefit of having an electric vehicle because of the simplified systems and not having to have all of the extra parts and everything. And I think that's really one of the real benefits for EVs. And a lot of hybrids, the battery size is, back to range, battery size is not good. It's just not good enough. 10 kilowatts is not good enough. It should be more so the car can spend. If you're going to do a hybrid, have it so that the car can spend way more time in electric mode rather than gas mode.
It looks like Jaguar has a plug-in hybrid as well. I
they
noticed.
do, but Jaguar is already pledged to eliminate all gasoline burning, which includes hybrids. I mean, let's just say it clearly: hybrids burn gasoline.
Yes,
we have to get rid of gasoline. There is no option for going forward going forward at all. I mean, we should be eliminating this ASAP. And yep. Toyota has their investment sounds huge, but when you compare it to what Volkswagen, what General Motors, what Ford, what other European group companies are doing, it's paltry. Yep. It's a joke. It's a really bad joke. And they've done things that are really evil, in my opinion. And I'll say it straight up. They've actually advertised globally, putting down EVs. It's one thing to say like our hybrids are great, but what they've done is they've dissed EVs in a very aggressive way, and they actually got punished by I think it's the Norwegian government because they were doing misinformation about EVs. And they had to pull their advertising off the TV. I mean, this is ethically challenging.
Yeah, they were all in for the hydrogen, right? It was all about the hydrogen.
No. They were all in for gasoline cars. They were all in for gasoline cars. Period.
Yeah. One company we haven't talked about yet is Subaru. Apparently, Subaru is coming out with their first EV sometime soon, and that they credit Toyota as pushing them.
Well,
to collaborate with them to start their EV. So I think Toyota's influence, hopefully now that they're all in, we'll see some positive movement in the EV market. Right?
I hope Toyota does what they say they're going to do. And if they do,
I'll believe it when
absolutely
I see it.
Bravo. Exactly. But they have to do before I believe what they say. Now, that Subaru is awesome, but isn't it just a rebranded version of the
Toyota.
B4 ZX or XE
yeah.
or whatever it is? So it's basically the same model. car
Yeah.
that both of the companies are going to sell, which is fine. Absolutely, rebadge it, knock it out, sell. I hope they sell a ton of them because they look cool. I would like to see one, but I'm in Japan, so can't.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 5 more minutes. Let's
Yeah.
end with a positive. What do you love about your electric car? Go. Who's first?
Kevin, go for it.
Kevin, go first.
I love being able to drive safely and very confidently on very icy, snowy roads up the mountain to Shigakogan daily. My car, I drove a Jimny prior, and I've driven other four-wheel drive vehicles, but because of the fact that the electric car has very fine-tuned traction control, because there are electric motors going, you can adjust the power to the motors to the wheels at millisecond intervals. It's very difficult to spin out the car. And I see cars getting stuck or spun out, and my car never gets stuck.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Scott, go.
Yeah, for me, I think it's the being able to get into the car every morning and it being charged up to the point where I set the charge at. I set mine to charge up to 80% or between 75 and 80% every day. And so like Kevin said before, it takes me 15 seconds. I plug it in. I don't think about it. I get up in the morning. It is back to where I want it to be. And getting up, and before I head out to the car, I can turn the heater on in the car from my phone in the kitchen while I'm finishing my coffee. By the time I get to the car, it's heated up. That hasn't taken any of the juice out of the battery because it's using the mains power to be able to do the heaters. Being able to have the seats warm, the climate adjusted, all full based on where I tell it to go up to. That's great. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I have a really cute story. I took it to the car wash recently. The only reason I have to visit a gas station now is to get my car washed. And the young girl who was working at the gas station wasn't sure how to drive it, so I had to tell her, how to move it because they had to do it. I couldn't do it. And then once she realized it was all electric, she kept saying, "Kore wa shorai desu ne. This is the future. This is the future." And I just love that. So I love driving the future. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually went and had the coating covering thing put on my car up at the gas station as well. And I gave them the card and they went and parked the car and they're like, "We were looking around for 15 minutes on how to turn it off." I'm like, "Oh, that's right. I didn't tell you. You just park it and then you don't think about it anymore."
Yeah. The other thing I like about one thing that a lot of people get shocked is when they get in my car and I said, "Okay, let's put it into sports mode," and I go, "Sit back," and it goes 0 to 100 in 4 seconds or so. And they're like, "Whoa, oh my God!" It's like a jet coaster. It's like a roller coaster. And it's like, they're like, "I thought electric cars are so slow." And it's like, no.
You can drop a Porsche. It's nobody can compete with you.
No, not at all.
Yep. Yeah.
And I also love watching Netflix and playing backgammon and heating my car seat. I like all the fun things about the Tesla.
You can watch Netflix on your car?
Yeah.
That's great.
We have a nice screen to watch Netflix. We can now watch YouTube as well. Yeah. You can also, if you tell somebody your code and you're buying a Tesla, you can get like 6 months free charging at Superchargers, which is a nice.
Now.
Is it gone?
Yeah, they stopped it. They stopped the references. Yeah.
Oh,
the referrals. I was really sad about it.
That was a good system. Maybe they'll bring it back.
I hope so. So if somebody buys a Tesla solar system, then you can get a credit. You can get credit on that, but that's the only thing that has a referral system right now.
Are they selling their solar systems and battery systems here now?
I haven't seen it.
They sell the power walls, but not the solar yet.
Oh, that's interesting because in the States, you have to have the solar in order to be able to buy the power wall. You can't buy the power wall separately back in the U.S. now.
Interesting. Yeah.
I would love to get a power wall for
we'll have to have you guys back on and talk about houses and solar and insulation and windows and home battery storage next time.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Thanks so
Hey,
much,
thanks a lot,
Kevin
guys.
and Scott. That was
Thanks for having
awesome.
us.
Hey, Scott, it was great to meet you. And JJ,
It's great
thanks a
to meet
lot.
you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have a
Absolutely.
great day. Thanks everyone for joining.
Bye.